Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another First Impressions video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Infinity Wars. And what is Infinity Wars, you guys might wonder? And Infinity Wars is a trading card game, a digital trading card game, of course, because otherwise it wouldn't make a lot of sense now, would it? If we were talking about physical cards. But how did I get involved in this whole Infinity Wars thing? It's interesting because it all actually began with a tweet from one of my followers. His name is @JustMunchin, and he basically sent me a tweet saying that he would very much like me to take a look at the game Infinity Wars, and he put in the same tweet with whatever the symbol. I can't remember what the name of the symbol is in English. Whatever. He basically CC'd Infinity Wars TCG, and eventually this conversation evolved into the point where they gave me access to the closed beta, as well as a whole bunch of booster packs and all kinds of other goodies, which are most likely going to make several people that are playing Infinity Wars really jealous, and I'm sorry about that. It's just they basically gave me all these codes and stuff, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna make a video about it. So in terms of cards, these are all the cards that I have. I have all this stuff activated. Not exactly sure if they actually give you a total of cards, but I have a lot. I have a lot of cards right now. It took me like over half an hour to open like all of the booster packs and all that stuff. But before we actually delve into all this stuff and building decks and whatnot, I want to give you guys a little bit of gameplay. Now, I'm not actually going to play other players yet because I've barely only got a couple of hours in the game, and I haven't checked all of my cards yet. I don't know all of the best combos and whatnot. I just checked a couple of them from some of the decks that I thought that I was going to enjoy, and just made a very basic deck for myself so that I could keep on playing the campaign. Yes, there is actually a single player campaign in this game, which if we go over here to the campaign, as a matter of fact, there's more than one campaign if we really look at it. And as you play through the campaign, the game actually awards you with cards that are related to each of the factions in the campaign. So you can play through the Warpath campaign, the Flame Dawn campaign, the Genesis Industries campaign, the Cult of Verori campaign, the Descendants of Dragon campaign, and the Sleepers of Avarok campaign. Now, I haven't really played all that much, but I'm going to be continuing to play through the Flame Dawn campaign because the deck that I'm actually using, because once you go past the third, I believe it's once you go past the third campaign for each of the factions, you actually need to have your own custom deck. So I went ahead and I made a Flame Dawn campaign mixed in with some Descendants of the Dragon. So I don't know exactly all of the factions yet, but as far as I can tell, Flame Dawn campaign is one of the most offensive, like just straight out and go get them factions. And Descendants of the Dragon is one of the more defensive, just laid back and try to defend as much as we can factions. So I decided, you know what, just gonna do some mixed in between the guys that are full blown out offensive and the guys that are kind of like, you know, defensive. And that's pretty much what I did. It's not particularly a very synergetic deck or anything like that. It's most definitely not a professional deck because I tried playing against another player and I got my face handed to me on a platter. Although I still gave a little bit of fight, but he had really powerful combos. And in this game, I can tell there's going to be a lot of, basically, a lot of combo mechanics to it, as to every TCG game, so to speak. But in this game in particular, I really could see like the synergies between a lot of the cards and what my opponent was doing. And yeah, I do not have those kinds of synergies on my deck, so I'm sorry. I'm not that experienced yet. As a matter of fact, I'm not that experienced in trading card games in general. I mean, I've played some Hearthstone in terms of when it comes to digital stuff. I played some Scrolls, and I used to play Magic a long time ago. Magic the Gathering, the actual physical card game. I really enjoyed playing Magic the Gathering, but that was a long time ago. And I'm already looking at my opponent here in this particular portion of the campaign, and I'm already not liking what I'm seeing because, as you can see, the opponent here starts with 2 creatures, pretty big creatures. You guys might be, what the hell? 8, 7, 8? Yeah, but just relax because we have 100 health. And obviously I'm going to have to try and survive my opponent's onslaught. Now, however, as you can also see, he only really has 3 cards in his deck. So that's the thing. He's going to run out of cards, so as long as I can deal with everything that's on the table right now, I should be fine. And as you can see, you also get a little bit of flavor text when you're doing the campaign. So, okay, so this is actually my deck. I drew this hand. You start out, it seems, with 5 cards. You have this thing here, which is the command zone. I'm going to talk more about the command zone when we actually build our deck. And you have this thing, which is the support zone, and this is where you actually summon your creatures. You summon your creatures into the support zone unless the creature itself has a specific role to play. Like, for instance, this character here, this is just a normal character, so when you summon him, he's going to come into the support zone. However, if you look at this one over here, this is a Vigilance card. If you notice, it has this special ability. What happens with Vigilance cards is basically they instantly get sent to the defense zone. So if I was to play this card, which I actually can't because I do not have enough resources, it would go straight into the defensive zone over there. As you can see, resources are over here up top. Currently I have 1 resource. Every turn you get an additional resource, and there are certain cards that can grant you additional resources as well. Each deck that you actually build needs to have at least 40 cards, but there seems to be no real upper limit. At least I didn't notice it. I went up to 50 something. But obviously if a deck has 40 cards, I don't want to go too much above 40 cards because I want those cards, the cards that I've placed on the deck, to basically come out. All of the cards in the game are animated, so like if you click any card at all, you can see it has an animation. Some cards have cooler animations than others. To be completely honest, I really like the animations on the Flame of Dawn dudes. Like if you look at this guy over here, oops. He's like slashing and shooting and slashing and shooting. I think that's kind of cool. And then basically you have to go ahead and just play it as you would any other trading card game. So we're going to start off by playing this guy, which is a Torchbearer, and he's actually in my commanding zone. So what the commanding zone is basically a set of 3 cards that you can choose that will always come into play instantly. And these cards are not going to be affected by Summoning Sickness, but you still have to pay their cost to actually put them into play. So for instance, if I want to, I can actually just flat out put this guy in the assault zone, and he's going to be attacking. Now, once I play this card, the opponent is also going to be taking 3 damage because that's what this card does. When Torchbearer comes into play, your opponent loses 3 health. And that is the reason why I've placed that card in my command zone, because basically I will always have a card to play on the first turn, which might not be the case sometimes if your deck is a little bit more expensive than one. But I really don't want to put him in the assault zone just yet because he's just going to get creamed by this creature over here because it's a 7/8. Now, all of the actions in the game actually take place simultaneously. So you're not able to see what your opponent is doing, and the opponent is not able to see what you are doing until you both press end turn, at which point all the actions play out. Like, for instance, if the opponent wants to, he can actually move these 2 creatures out of the assault zone into the defense zone. And what's going to happen is your creatures, if you place anything in the assault zone, is going to attack the opponent onto his defense zone. If he plays anything into his assault zone, it's going to attack onto your defense zone. So think of it as attackers in the assault, blockers on the defense. There's also flying creatures. You don't have just the regular creatures, they also have the flying creatures. So flying creatures can only be blocked by other flying creatures, as I was forced to learn in my previous match against another player who was able to buff a flying creature to 1919, and I had absolutely nothing to deal with it. Okay, so for starters, I'm actually not going to place any cards in the assault or defense zones. We're just going to basically take a little bit of a beating here. Whenever a unique character you control takes damage, Valor Brute takes +4/+0. Oh wow, I did a good thing not attacking that guy. I need to get rid of this guy in one shot, otherwise I'm screwed. Okay, Glorious Warrior. This guy's going to take a while until I can actually summon him. Holy crap. This guy's going to become a problem. Although, in all honesty, his health doesn't actually raise, only his attack. So if I just keep blocking him, he's actually not going to be a problem. So what I'm going to do right now is actually play this guy. He's going to go straight into the defense zone there. And I'm not going to play the Torchbearer yet. I just want to basically survive for a while longer. So, yes, end of turn. And there goes the Valor Brute smashing my defender. And I take 7 damage. Now we have a Flame Dawn Aspirant. Now I really like these creatures because they have charge. They cost 1 and they come with charge. So basically he's going to straight out attack into the opponent. And what I'm going to do is basically get rid of this foul beast that we see here. Let's go ahead, play this guy, and actually, no, I can actually, but he's going to become, no, that's fine. I can play this card, and what this card does is it also has an activate to it, and you can pay the activation cost, which costs 3 resources, and all of my characters gain +0/+4. So what that's going to do is this guy's actually going to become a 4/8. And so he's going to be able to survive the 7 damage from the defender unless he happens to put another creature on defense. But usually the computer doesn't do that. So let's go ahead, activate that, and end turn. So I'm still going to take all of this damage over here. But this character is going to be able to survive the attack of this one. And on the next turn, I'm going to kill it because he's only got 4 health left. However, obviously we're taking quite the beating over there. And we're going to be fixing that. And we're going to be fixing it by placing this dude. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I still can't put him directly there. So I'm still going to take another beating to the face. But that's going to be fine. Oh, I didn't know that the characters in the command zone also got buffed by this ability. That's cool. This guy's actually 8/12. Oh, I wish I had played him instead. Actually, I can do that because this game has an undo feature. So I can actually put this guy here. And that is going to basically wipe out that dude, and he's still going to survive long enough to kill that attacker, so that's pretty sweet. So let's go ahead and end the turn. So we should basically clear the board at this point. That's what I'm expecting. Oh, he's got another Velour Brute. God damn it. Torchbearer dies, the other creature dies, Velour Brute dies, Beast of Burden dies. Does he have to be in a... Doesn't seem like he gained any buffs. That's weird. I thought he was going to get buffed. Doesn't say that he has to be in an attack zone or anything. Now, we have this card, which is actually a really cool card, the Call of the Crusade. It's going to create 3 4/2 creatures directly in the assault zone. This is the assault zone. And if they're in the assault zone, they're basically going to attack, because whenever something is in the assault zone, it just gets to attack flat out. Now, the problem with this is if I play this card, I'm still going to take 8 damage over there, but I'm going to gain a lot more offensive momentum. So let's go ahead and do that. End the turn, and now it's going to spawn. Wow, another Velour Brute. This is great. And as you can see now, we got those 3 guys over there, which are going to start doing damage to the enemy's fortress. Okay. Another Knight of Flame Dawn, as well as... We can't actually move these guys from the assault zone. So this character can actually survive an attack from this one. But I'm thinking I'm actually going to summon a big defender, or not. No, we need to summon something that flat out kills those dudes, and these monks are the ones for the job. And I'm also going to summon this Knight of the... Actually, instead of the Knight of the Flame Dawn, let's summon another one of these, which is going to go straight into the charge, and another one of these. Okay, so this character, in the next turn, I will be able to block him and flat out kill him. But he's going to be able to play that one as well, so that's going to be a problem. We're still going to take 8 damage, but we have a much more solid offensive line than he does, and he's got no cards. Let's go ahead and end the turn here. Ouch! That hurts. Deals 4 damage to target character. If the character is artificial, deals 8 damage instead. He's going to kill one of my dudes. And he's actually going to be doing quite a bit more damage than I anticipated, which is a big problem. Okay, so how are we going to be able to handle this? I can actually move this character over this side and block everything, which is most likely what I'm going to do, because I need to basically start blocking the crap out of him. Because as soon as he runs out of cards, he's not going to be a problem anymore. So I'm going to play this guy so that I can play him to block next turn as well. I really don't want to do this card just yet, so instead we're going to summon this one, who is an 8/8. And next turn I can place her there along with the blockers, and we still have 2 attackers over there, which is pretty damn sweet. Let's keep on going. As you can see, there is 67 out of 100. Oh, damn you. He's killing off my... Oh, not my attackers, my defenders. Yeah, because these guys are going to get buffed. Are they going to get buffed? I mean, they're getting damaged. Whenever he... Oh, a unique character. Oh, never mind. I don't know why I feared that so much. Unique characters are basically characters that you can only have one of them on the deck. Well, this opponent shouldn't really be a problem anymore as far as I can tell. So we'll just block it off with this guy. And then put this character here for offense. I mean, he can play straight out those two in offense, but I don't think he's going to do it. We're going to find out. Either way, going to play a couple of more cards here, all into the support zone. As you can see, they are exhausted. I've been playing cards like this because basically whenever you play these cards that are just normal cards, they will be exhausted, and only in the next turn you can actually put them either on defense or on offense. Now, if you notice, there's also another gauge here besides the health gauge, which is health and morale. Now, how does morale work? Whenever you lose a creature, you're going to lose morale. And if you get to 0 morale, you're going to die. So morale is kind of like a secondary form of health. So if you want to go for a deck that just obliterates creatures, you're going to be able to kill your opponent just flat out through morale, assuming that your opponent has enough creatures to... assuming that he plays enough creatures to kill him, that is. And also there are cards like this one, which is at the end of each turn, if Glorious Warrior is in a combat zone, the opponent loses 4 morale. So there's also cards that specialize in morale damage, so to speak. So there's more than one way to actually win the game. You can either go for health or go for the creatures. Well, let's end this turn and see what he does. He's probably going to play these 2 creatures. He has to. And another Lightning Blast, taking out another one of my attackers. My 2 creatures attacking his fortress. My Glorious Warrior survives, deals him 4 morale damage, plus the damage that he lost from losing the creature. Then we have another Flamed On Aspirant, as well as the Resolute Knight. Resolute Knight basically has 2 lives, so when he dies, he's going to come back to life, which is pretty cool. I like Resolute Knight. Should I put anything else on defense? Well, he can attack me at a moment's notice, but... well, I can put this Monk on defense, because if he dies, he's going to come back as a zombie. I'm going to pay the cost for this card, which basically is this card is going to leave the game for 3 turns, and when it returns, I'm going to draw 2 cards, and it's going to get +4/+4. It's going to become an 8/10, and I'm going to draw 2 cards when she returns, just in case the game lasts that long, despite the fact I actually doubt it will. I'm also going to play this character, which is going to go straight into the attack zone, and I'm going to put this character in the attack zone as well. There we go. And just end turn. You use the ability of Pilgrimage Monk. So the Monk is going to leave. Off he goes, and the Flamed On Aspirant is going to beat the crap out of the enemy fortress. Still got 39 health, 32, 24. Still going to survive. Then we have another card here, which is... which is this guy, who is an aspiring monk. No, the Disciple of the Mian Monastery. Each turn, the Disciple of Mian Monastery ends in the support zone. He gains +3/+3. So basically, after he's exhausted, because I think when he's exhausted it doesn't count, but every turn that I leave him here is just going to keep on growing, which is kind of cool, which is what the animation is doing. He's basically practicing and growing and becoming stronger. So you can leave one of these here for a long time and then just play him off, and he's going to be a really big creature. But obviously, you're sacrificing him yourself by just having the creature in the support zone as opposed to actually having him attack. But then again, you can go ahead, attack, and then go back to the support zone on the next turn if you so desire, and he's going to keep on pumping himself up. Also going to summon this character. Oh, I didn't realize that she had Vigilance. So she has Vigilance. She gets played instantly into the defense zone, and also as long as she's in defensive zone, I cannot be reduced below 1 health. I picked this character because it looked kind of cool, but I don't know. And you might notice me reordering stuff because this order actually matters. So if the opponent was to attack me, first he would hit the monk, then he would hit this monk, and then finally he would hit her. So I kind of tend to put the more valuable creatures at the end, as you can see here. The 7/7 is at 3rd spot, so if he happens to defend, he's going to be the 3rd one attacking. And same thing for this one. She's in the 4th spot, so she's going to be the 4th one attacking. So basically, these guys are meat for the grinder. These guys are the better cards. Also, we have this guy over here with 2 lives. I'm going to put him in front, actually, Because in case he dies, he's just going to come back to life anyway, so who cares? Now let's end the turn here. Thinking back, I should have actually just moved the creature with 10 attack over to this side. And oh, actually he's going to die regardless. I didn't really do much math on his health, but there you go. This is kind of how Infinity Wars works. Now, this is just giving you guys the very basics of the game. So I'm going to go to the next mission. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. These Jade Warriors have been following us. We must lead them into a trap and dispatch of them immediately. So he actually has a proper deck this time around because he doesn't have any stuff on the field or anything like that. So this is going to be a proper normal match. He's got the same resources as I do. He's got these cards over here in his commanding portion of the deck. Oh, I already told you not to show me this message again. So he's got 3 cards in his commanding portion of the deck. And we got our 3 cards in the commanding portion of the deck. We got 38 cards. He's got 21. This deck is illegal, good sir. Then again, it's for the purposes of that campaign. It is to be expected. Like I said, one of the reasons why I have this Torchbearer here is so that I can play him off on the very first turn. So basically this card is 1 mana, or 1 resource, whatever you want to call it. And it's basically going to allow me to do 7 damage off the bat. Because with 1 resource, he's not going to be able to put any of these guys in play. So unless he's got something on his hand that he can play for 1 resource, there's not a whole lot that he can actually play in the defense zone. And as this creature gets summoned, he's going to deal 3 damage. And after he deals 3 damage, he's going to go straight on to attack and do 4 damage. So potential 7 damage in the first turn. But we have to always keep in mind that you actually get 100 health. So take that with a grain of salt, so to speak. So let's go ahead and the turn, see what the opponent is going to do. He's going to take it like a man and not do a damn thing about it. Well, in that case, we're going to go ahead and summon this guy right into the Vigilance Zone because we don't have any other card that costs 2 resources. And end the turn. He's going to summon an Invincible Defender as well, which actually came from his hand. Now, this is something interesting, which is why would you play a card off your hand when you have that card in the command zone? So this, in my opinion, was a mistake of him because I already know he's got these cards in his command zone, but I don't know what he's got on his hand. So usually you would want to play the command zone card first. That's the way I see things anyways. Now then, what else can we do? We can actually save this creature from dying, which I might just do that because we do have our monk here. And we're going to go ahead and activate him. That's going to give all of my creatures plus 0/+4, so +4 health to all my creatures. He's going to then become a 4/6, which means he will survive this creature's 2 damage, hopefully, unless something else happens. We shall see. Balanced Warrior. Balanced Warrior's power is equal to its remaining health. I have learned to fear this card. This card is very, very powerful. Especially because he's also got the Daoud there, which is going to buff that creature. So he also has this card, so he can actually go ahead, use it, buff his creature, which is basically going to get this creature to become 10/10. Because by buffing his health, he's going to automatically buff his damage as well. Now, is he going to put a 10/10 on defense or on offense? That's the question. I honestly do not know the answer. I might just play my 8/12 in Assault, and we'll see how this goes. And end turn. Glorious Warrior goes into the summon zone. This guy comes over here. My Succulus gets played. Okay, he's going to go ahead and attack there. He didn't really buff him. Interesting. He's probably going to buff him this turn, though, so I have to be careful about that. Should I buff my creatures as well for some additional defense? It's not a bad idea at all. Though if you just basically spend every turn buffing your creatures, you're not really doing much, are you? But for now, I'm going to take the cautious route, and I'm going to go ahead and buff my creatures. However, he is most likely going to play this character into the assault zone so that I can start losing morale damage. Decisions. Well, I'm going to allow myself to take a little bit of damage this time around. He's not going to be able to kill me with this one unless he buffs it. which he might or which he may or may not do. And we can actually summon this monk, who is going to get 2 lives, and we can summon this character into the attack. So yeah, we're actually going to keep a solid head-on attack, because we're winning on health anyways, and we got a lot of attack points going off his direction. So he either pours out some defense, or he's going to get creamed. So let's see what we got. Another glorious warrior gets played. He's going to play it into assault. He's going to come straight at me. Okay. He did not activate his card over there to buff his creature, so he's only going to become a 2/2. I'm going to put this guy on defense, because if he dies, he's going to come back as a zombie anyways. And now we have 6 resources. How shall I expend them? I'm going to go flat out offense. This is the card that summons 3 tokens over there on my assault zone, so that's going to give me a lot of offensive power. So if he keeps trying to basically brace me with health, I'm most likely going to out-damage him. Most likely. We'll see. He's going to play an Invincible Defender, which is going to flat out kill my attacker there. But I'm going to play this, which is going to summon like all of those dudes. There goes my infected... Oh no, the infected monk survives, kills off his creature, and then dies. And he's now going to come back as a zombie, so he should now be a zombie, correct? And now we're having the my portion of the assault resolve. And at this point, he's basically going to be forced into defending, otherwise I'm going to own his face. That's basically what's going to happen. Now I'm going to play him, and at this point, he should be a zombie, right? Returns to play and becomes undead. I assume that right now he's an undead. Yeah, character undead. Okay. No, I do not want to end the turn. Relax. Okay. Put him there. He's going to die for good this time around, which kind of sucks, but oh well. I am going to... What does this do? This basically returns something to the support zone, which I'm not interested in returning something to the support zone. Instead, we're going to go flat out more offense. No, wait. Actually, no. I'm going to go a little bit on the defensive side of things. We're going to put this guy over here in defense. We're going to buff them with extra health, and they're going to be able to endure the onslaught on this end of the field. And we'll still be able to summon a 4 creature. So activate this guy. Going to buff everyone with +0/+4. And we're still able to summon this big fellow over here. Yes, that seems like the proper way to go about things. And turn. He's going to summon a wealthy noble if he's on the battlefield. Now, I'm not exactly sure if the battlefield means support zone and or defense or attack, or if it means defense or attack. I think it means defense or attack. Basically, what this card does is it grants him 1 extra resource if he plays it either in the defense or in the assault zone. I'm going to assume. I'm going to assume that playing it in the support zone doesn't do anything, but it might. I'm not sure. So he's going to activate as well, so we're all going full-on defense here, which is not the best way to go about things. But oh well. There goes my monk. He is dead. And now we have a flamed on footman. And we also have this guy. So this guy's going to be flat out able to kill that one, but then he's going to die to this one, which I actually don't want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to move him over to the offensive side again. Move this guy onto the defensive side. He's going to die. It's a damn shame. Move the torchbearer over to the defensive side as well. Or should I even? No, you know what? Screw it. I have 90 health. Bring it on, bro. Leave that stuff in the assault zone. I double dare you. What the hell am I even talking about? Jeez. Now then, what else can we do? We have 8 resources, so I'm going to be able to play... Oh, let's just add 3 more dudes to our assault and summon one of these monks. Not that it matters, but I like having a little bit of card draw. Oh, Invincible Defender. I don't think that's really going to save you, bro. Because I have my big guy over there. He's going to smash your face. And we have all those other dudes. Okay, you guys get 20 damage, and that's that. You're done. You're done, good sir. Smack, 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 smack. Now, this is one of the things that actually gets a little bit boring, having to actually press space to go through all of the assaults. I'm not exactly sure if there's an option to skip the animations or not. There might be. But I like watching animations, so I don't know. Now, I think this pretty much gives you a nice idea of how kind of the game mechanics work. So now I want to go ahead and go into deck building and talk a little bit about how you actually build your decks, because there's obviously one of the biggest aspects of any TCG is building your deck. Now, also, as you play through the campaign, you're going to get rewards. Rewards come in the forms of cards and whatnot. So as you can see here, I have a couple of rewards. Now I have this reward for doing the Flame Dawn campaign. I'm going to unlock this. This is Flame Dawn campaign reward 5. And what's that going to grant me? It's going to grant me a card. It's going to grant me Stumble. Then we have another one here. That's going to grant me probably a card as well. It's actually not, I mean, for me, it's actually not that climatic to get a card anymore, because I just spent, like, before making this video, I spent like half an hour going through boosters. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to open a booster pack that I have here. Also, when you do the first couple of missions in each of the factions' campaigns, they're going to give you a large amount of cards for that specific campaign, so that you can kind of get started working towards that campaign if that is what you want to do. So as you can see, this is how you kind of open your boosters. You're going to get cards from all the factions, pretty much like any other physical card game TCG. And these are all the cards that I've gotten. What's this? Oh, I got a legendary! Agent Coil Mechborn. Okay, cool. I think that's actually my first legendary. You'd think I've gotten a bunch of legendaries with all the packs that I've opened, but I didn't. So now let's go into the deck builder. So this is how the deck builder works. I'm actually just going to create a new one. Sure, save the current deck. And as you can see, now currently I'm displaying all of the cards that I have for all of the factions, right? These are all the cards that I have in the game, which is quite a few of them. So naturally you would want to go ahead and select a faction that you want to make a build for, or just make your deck factionless, because this symbol right here that you see where my cursor is, this is the factionless faction, if that even, they call it faction? Yeah, the purity of this card is factionless, has no commander requirements to be included in the deck. So what does this mean, commander requirements to be included in the deck? Whoa. So let's look at this, for instance. This is like, let's say if you were playing Magic the Gathering, this would be the green color, which is kind of like, it's got beasts, it's got some mechanics about breathing more beasts and crazy stuff like that. It's about bringing beasts to the battlefield. So if we look at one of these cards, like for instance this one, the Fight card, which is actually an ability card, not really a creature card, it has a purity of 1. It requires at least one Warpath commander to be included in the deck. Now, like I told you, there's a commanding zone in the battlefield as you are playing the game. And how does that work? So the commanding zone means that you're going to pick 3 cards, and those are going to be your cards for the commanding zone. Those 3 cards have to be a character. I don't think you can actually use... Oops. It seems that they're going for... in terms of the UI, it seems that they're going for something for tablets here, because if you click and drag, it's going to do almost like if you were in a tablet. See what I mean? But either way... so the thing that goes over there has to be a commander. I don't think you can... Yeah, as you can see, there's not the option here to add as commander. But let's say, okay, I want to have this Skrar creature be my commander. Fine. Thing is, he's going to be with you since from turn 1, and he's going to cost 7 resources. So he's going to be there. You're going to get him, but you're going to have to wait for 7 turns or whatever to summon him, unless you have some card that does some crazy stuff. He's also got Haste and Unstoppable, which are 2 more things. Haste is obviously you can attack as soon as you pop him into the field. He's going to deal 15 damage. And he also has Unstoppable. Unstoppable is kind of like Trample, but not necessarily, because basically he keeps dealing damage. Like if he kills cards, he keeps on going. I don't think that they have this... These characters' power, the damage... No. Characters with haste are not exhausted when they come into play. They don't seem to have the Unstoppable description. But Unstoppable, it's kind of like if he keeps killing creatures, he keeps on dealing damage until someone kills him or something. It seemed like a mechanic similar to Trample. I didn't really understand Unstoppable all that much. I'm sorry, sue me. Either way, Tusk Behemoth. If you notice here, this one, however, has a purity of 2. That means we actually need to have 2 commanders from this particular faction to be able to have this card. So I'm going to go ahead and pick another one. Add this monkey as a commander as well. And then you can go, if you want, you can still have another faction. Like, say, you want to go ahead and play with the Genesis guys, which are kind of like robot dudes and whatnot. And you can put this guy as a commander, and you should be able to put cards from Genesis as well, as long as they have a purity of 1. Because if they have a purity of 2, like this one, you can't actually play him because he's going to require you to have 2 commanders from the Genesis thing. Yes, it's a little bit complex to actually get your head around this if you're not that familiar with trading card games, and this is a pretty unique mechanic. I haven't really seen this mechanic before on other card games. And again, like I said earlier, my knowledge is not really the best when it comes to trading card games. And then after this, you can basically have 3 cards of each of the individual card you have, unless they are unlimited, because some of these cards are actually considered unlimited. I have a couple of those here, like these guys. Unlimited. When a character is unlimited, you can have as many as you want. So like if I wanted to make a deck out of 20 of these guys, out of 40 of these guys, and not even have a commander if I so chose to, that's fine. That's not a problem. Although you're probably it's not gonna be the most fun deck to play, but you can do it because it's unlimited. So all you really need to respect is you get 40 characters and you got your commanders, and that's that. But either way, we're obviously not going to be doing that because that would be dumb. But that's kind of how it works. Apart from unlimited characters, you'll enter the 3. So for instance, the defense golem, I have like 10 of them. I can only have 3 in the deck. If you add more than 3, it's not going to let you add more than 3. And then you can pick whatever factions you want to play with. You can mix and match. You can do whatever you want. Certain factions will also allow you to play certain cards that don't actually require a general. Or do they all require a general? I'm not 100% sure on that. A commander, I mean. They might all require a commander except for the factionless ones. So yeah, sorry about that. Little mistake there. So now I just wanted to give you guys my conclusion on kind of how I feel about this particular game in terms of how good of a TCG it is or not, despite the fact that you need to take my opinion with a huge bag of salt, like I usually say, because I'm not the most experienced person when it comes to TCGs. But let me just go into play here and just select another portion of the campaign. I'm just going to go to the very first level so that I can just have a clear view of the battlefield. Okay. Thank you very much.
Choose any card and play it.
Okay. Are you going to shut up now? Thank you. So, I wanted to just basically tell you guys about the battlefield because it's very important for me as to how I feel in regards to this game. So if you notice, something about this particular TCG when compared to other ones is that it focuses a lot on trying to reveal cards ahead of time before you can actually play them, attack with them, or do anything with them, really. So like for instance, you have your command zone. This means you can select 3 character cards that you can always have at the start of the game. Now this takes a little bit out of chance, so to speak, from the game, which is a good thing because obviously you don't want to leave a trading card game completely up to chance. Now, if I don't really like comparing games to each other, so to speak, but let's bring up the example of Hearthstone, for instance. Hearthstone is a much more simpler game. Most likely, a lot of people that enjoy Hearthstone might not enjoy Infinity Wars, and vice versa. A lot of the people that actually enjoy Infinity Wars might not enjoy Hearthstone, but it might also be the case that they might enjoy both games. But the difference to me is that people who will come to Infinity Wars, I feel, are going to be people that enjoy a more complex experience because it does have a different degree of strategy. You have your assault zones, your defense zones, your command zones. All this stuff kind of takes a little bit away from the luck factor. Now, you can't completely eliminate luck factor from a card game. That is just impossible because at the end of the day, you're going to have an X number of cards. At the very minimum, you're going to have 40 cards. They're going to be shuffled and they're going to be coming at you in a random order. So most likely you will not always get the cards you want. Sometimes you might, other times you might not. So there's always going to be a luck factor involved. What I feel is that with the mechanics that they've come up with for the command zone, so that you can have those 3 cards at the very start of the game, that takes a little bit away from chance because you already know I'm always going to have these 3 cards at the start. So like for instance, on my deck, I'm always going to have that one Torchbearer that's going to give me a potential of 7 damage on the first turn, and it's always going to give me something to do on the first turn. Always. So that's something that I know that I can rely on my deck to produce. Players that have like this combo that really needs a specific card to make the combo happen, basically what they're going to do is they're going to get that combo straight up into that command zone. And you guys might be thinking, oh, but isn't that a little bit overpowered? No, it's not, because you're going to be able to see your opponent's command zone and you're going to be able to see what his combo is. And as such, you can already prepare your plays in response to that, and once again, removing a little bit more from the luck aspect of things. Then you also have the support zone mechanic, which kind of works like summoning sickness in a way. Basically, you put the cards in the support zone. Usually you will not be able to play them unless they have haste, charge, vigilance, something like that. Usually they will go into the support zone first, and then you will actually play the card into the assault zone, thus giving your opponent time to figure out what you're going to be doing with that card and hypothesize and plan his defensive or offensive strategy. So again, just laying your cards out there and trying to eliminate a little bit of that luck factor. So this is a more complex game. It takes a little bit away from luck, in my opinion, and that's pretty much what it's focusing on. It knows that it's a more complex game. It's not trying to be anything else. I mean, I had a hard time just figuring out how to even build my deck because I was like, what's this? Oops, I didn't mean to restart. I wanted to actually exit the menu. Thank you. Because that mechanic with the commanders and whatnot, I was like, what the hell is this commanders? This crazy. And then they have the campaign. I'm like, they actually have like a single player campaign? Yes, they do. Apparently I'm at the 6th part and I'm at 62% of my campaign. So, and this is one of the campaigns. You have like 6 of them, and all of these campaigns are going to give you cards. So there's going to be a lot for you to do when you actually get started in the game itself. There's going to be a lot of stuff for you to do before you have to go and fight off other players, so that you can actually take your time to learn and gain a couple of cards so that you can start customizing your deck and all that. So that's pretty cool. You're going to gain this currency over here that you see, which this is called IP. I'm going to assume it's influence points, kind of like League of Legends. And this is also going to be what allows you to buy boosters and whatnot. If you go over here to the store, you can buy a booster pack for 1,050 IP. Now, I should have mentioned this at the start of the video, but I completely neglected to. But you can actually play this game right now. If you go to their website, which is infinitywarsgame.com or whatever, they should have a button there that says, click here to get... click here if you have an invitational code or whatever, and in the code just type Twitch in all caps, and you can start playing right now. And if you use this code, you're going to get a Rise Normal booster pack for free. So there's that. And also, if you enjoy InfinityWars.com, if you enjoy the Infinity Wars TCG, make sure to check out the links in the description. There's going to be a link to the website itself, obviously, where you can go and apply the Twitch code that I just told you about. And there's going to be another link for the Greenlight, where you can support this game to be greenlit for Steam, so that it's going to get more users and stuff like that. Either way, that has been my first impressions of Infinity Wars. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Give me all your feedback, all that kinds of good stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.